What's good, beautiful people? This is your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. So the James Harden saga continues, and right now it looks like the Philadelphia 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets are stuck in limbo as it pertains to a James Harden Ben Simmons trade. Now, here are the details. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, nothing is being talked about. But if you ask ESPN's Brian Windhorst, they are in the deal zone. Something is looming. Something is coming. They're just trying to iron out the finer details. Now, Brian Windhorst said he can't necessarily tell how much James Harden wants to move, but according to everyone else, according to the rumors, he's screaming, quote unquote, to get out of Brooklyn. And he's kind of been in this state of emergency with Brooklyn. Brooklyn has Kyrie Irving, who's currently playing halftime basketball. He's there one game and he's away another because of the New York COVID protocols, their mandates when it comes to the vaccine and so on and so forth. And then you got Kevin Durant, who's been out with an injury. But James Harden is clearly growing frustrated. You can see it in the body language. You can see it in how he's been answering questions. He's clearly frustrated with the losing streak. The Brooklyn Nets got smacked the other day. I believe it was yesterday, as a matter of fact, by the Boston Celtics. I think they lost about 20 points or more, something like that. But I was keeping up with that game, and it was pretty much sad to watch. Obviously, Blake Griffin is a shell of himself. He can't really do much to carry the team. But, this situation between the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers is starting to heat up. We don't know what's going to necessarily happen. We're hearing so many conflicting stories, and fans and NBA guys have just been all over the place trying to, stake their claim on their story, and someone's trying to break the story. I know everyone has their ear very close to the Brooklyn franchise, but we're 9 times out of 10, we're not going to know what's going to happen until we get down to the trade deadline, which is at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Some people don't think a deal is going to happen at all. The thing about it is the Philadelphia 76ers are trying to convince the Brooklyn Nets that, hey, you're going to lose out on the guy anyway. Why losing for nothing? And that he's going to end up being a Philadelphia 76er regardless of what they want. It's just a matter of time. Now, there's word that the Brooklyn Nets want Steph Curry and Tyrese Maxey and Matisse Thybulle to be a part of the deal. Andre Drummond, picks, things like that. The Sixers clearly don't want to part ways with Tyrese Maxey, and I'm actually of that mindset. I don't want the Sixers to part ways with Tyrese Maxey in any way. Everybody else in that roster is completely expendable. Matisse Thybulle hasn't really grown offensively to me. Yes, he is dominant defensively, but offensively is where we have the problem. I feel like this team, is, from a team perspective, defensively will always be pretty good just because of the way they're coached. But Matisse Thybulle, he shouldn't be untouchable. The only untouchables on this roster should be Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Other than that, everyone else should be able to get moved, and that's just how I feel about it. But it all depends on what the Sixers are willing to part ways with. It all depends on what the Brooklyn Nets are willing to accept. Clearly, the Brooklyn Nets hold the cards because they have the guy, and the Sixers want the guy in James Harden. But overall, I don't think James Harden is going to return to the Brooklyn Nets. I think he's going to test free agency. And if the Brooklyn Nets are smart, they would not risk losing him for nothing. And if they can get Ben Simmons out of it, why not? The only question that the Brooklyn Nets may have is what kind of Ben Simmons are they getting? Are they getting a mentally fragile Ben Simmons? Are they going to get a revitalized Ben Simmons? You never really know. But we're not going to know anything until tomorrow when the trade deadline hits the final hour, the final minute, the final second. And who knows, maybe a deal will get done. You never know. But the Sixers can't really afford to waste a season like this from Joel Embiid. They need to go all in for a championship. And the window is definitely closing for the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Brooklyn Nets clearly aren't showing any signs of life this season. So a move definitely needs to be made. It's just a matter of when. But I'll leave it at that for you guys. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports. I want you guys to tell me what you guys think about this whole situation. Do you guys think the Brooklyn Nets should pull the trigger on the James Harden Ben Simmons trade? Should the Philadelphia 76ers include Tyrese Maxey and maybe some other valuable pieces in the deal? You guys tell me what you think. You guys were locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry.